Some days don't follow the script. And my day today definitely did not follow the script that I had laid out for it. Today unfolded, I got up and I was being productive before class and doing what I had to do, and then I went online to pre-print the slides for my class, and class was canceled, so I didn't have to go anywhere. I had this weird pocket of free time. Originally had said I was going to work on the essay that I have for that class that's due in a week and the time I'd be in the class. I ended up not doing that because I wanted to do some other stuff, and I was editing and I was cleaning. And I'm assuming that a lot of you probably know that feeling where, you know, life gives you space and you're like, do I fill it? Do I avoid it? Just be like, there's so many options of things that I can be doing that my brain got fried. Where if I had gone to class and had the momentum that I was thinking I was gonna have, that may not have happened. Just because things don't unfold the way that you expected or wanted them to, it doesn't mean that they're not unfolding the way that we actually need them to. Trying to fill my day with as many little grounding wins as I can. I was working on editing November 30th's video diary, still the first one that I haven't uploaded or finished yet. I think my problem was I was focusing too much on making it perfect, but everything just kept crashing. I'm learning DaVinci Resolve for the first time and learning all the settings and my laptop, and it just kept crashing over and over and over again. And I know that's usually a sign from the universe just telling me to step away when things don't want to work. It's for a reason. It's to force you to do something else. I was like, why am I obsessing so much over how perfect I can make this video diary? It's a video diary. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's a diary. But I did go back and forth and back and forth. Every time I got on DaVinci Resolve, I would get a little bit further and learn a little bit more that would help me in the future. But it doesn't mean that in the moment I'm not super frustrated and about to flip the frick out, because with my borderline personality disorder, technology like that crashing, the way BPD works, I'll link my BPD playlist down below, is that everything is so intensified that it's some of the most frustrating thing ever. And my camera is running out of storage. But even though I had this unexpected pocket of free time, the free time isn't always as relaxing as it sounds, because sometimes free time just gives you more stress and pressure. Like, now suddenly I feel like I need to justify every single hour that I spend and track how I spend every minute and making sure I'm always doing something. But you don't always have to be doing something, and I'm telling myself that every single day. So I tried to let myself be, you know, so that became a big lesson for me today. Days don't have to follow the plan in order to still matter and to make a difference. And sometimes days that don't follow the plan are better than what the plan was. Because even though things don't always unfold the way that you expect them to, they always unfold in the way that they need to. So some wins that I ended up having: I went to HotWorks and worked out for the 3rd day in a row. I did hot Pilates again. My body is so sore. I did that at like 8:15 in the night after a super frustrating day, and it was exactly what I needed. And I didn't want to go. Would have been very easy to not go, but I did. And even though I didn't do everything in the workout class, I still went and I showed up. If I did the easier version of things that I normally do, cool. I still went and I was in the sauna and sweat out all the stress. Those are some wins that I feel like are very rarely celebrated. The ones that we force ourselves to accomplish. It would have been so much easier to stay home and do anything else. And I started bedazzling my portable charger today. I'm gonna do like a pink gradient, so I'm super excited about that. It really is such a fun, easy, mindless task, and it's productive. And I was cleaning on and off, and it was Spotify rap day, so I spent a lot of time listening to all the songs that I listened to throughout the year. Really nice to see how far I came, and you know, songs I was obsessed with in the beginning of the year, and going back to how I was feeling then to how I'm feeling now. And Taylor Swift was my #1 artist for 2 years in a row, so not surprised. But the content side of my day was what the hectic part was, because I was trying to edit November 30th video diary, and the editing software I was using just kept crashing. Learning, and I am not really familiar with a lot of the settings, and I fixed the problem now, but it was super frustrating having to restart, shut down my laptop throughout the day. There were times where like it was crashing and shutting down so bad my laptop didn't even, like, it wouldn't even turn off. It was so frozen, and I felt like I was wasting so much time just wrestling with the technology instead of actually creating. But I kept forcing myself to try and fix it, and I kept telling myself, I know this is telling me to just walk away, but I kept being like, I want to get it to work, and then I'll walk away. It was a big back and forth with that. But I also realized that a part of me was trying to turn the video diary into more of a full-scale production than it really needed to be. And I filmed it, and then I can go back and do like more things and film some clarifier clips, but then that just took more time, more crashing, trying to figure that out, when the point of a diary is just honest. In the moment, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's why it's a diary. It's not gonna be perfect. Some days are gonna be better than others, but it's a diary. That's how it works. But definitely once I stopped pushing for that perfection is when everything started to just work and do what I needed it to do. So that's a lesson that I'm teaching myself every single day, to stop trying to make things so perfect and be the best and just be who you are. Because I kept going over the thought in my head today that I would rather someone dislike me for me being who I am than someone like me for me being someone that I'm not. And in that video towards the end, I'll link it up above because it'll be up by now. It was my first time picking up this camera in a while, and at the end you can kind of see in like an instant where I just kind of split, and I get super stressed and anxious, and I'm like rambling and just super overwhelmed. And I was like, I don't know if I should keep this in the video. How do I edit this? Like, there's no real good way to edit that sort of reaction. And I was going to film like a warning to put before that, but then I was like, life doesn't give you warnings. Your day doesn't give you warnings when things might get a little real for a second, and sometimes emotions just crash through the door, and then we have to navigate them, and that's just part of being human. And you know what? That's the way things happen. That's the way I should keep them. I don't have to put a warning that I'm about to get stressed and anxious. People see that, but I left it in there because I'm honest and I'm not perfect and I make mistakes, and I'm always gonna just be real. Just because I'm filming a video on not being afraid to be fully seen, it doesn't mean that I'm still working through that self-limiting belief myself. There's definitely a big difference between discomfort and authenticity, and I see it in people a mile away. And I was just reminded today that vulnerability isn't a bad thing, and people who claim that they're not vulnerable over anything are lying. And vulnerability doesn't need a disclaimer. If you don't want to watch, you don't want to be there, you can leave. So I really just shifted, and I'm shifting into my the mindset of doing what's necessary and not necessarily what's wanted. And for me, that doesn't mean discipline in the traditional sense, because I personally hate the word discipline. I am very anti-discipline. I am devoted and I am dedicated. I am destined for great things, but I am not disciplined by any means. I'll link a video I put up above, which was my first YouTube video after many years of not uploading on YouTube, which I uploaded almost a year ago now. And it's about how discipline ruined my life, because I'm a little over a year sober now. And in that video I was talking about how when I was an active alcoholic and drinking heavily every single day, working 4 jobs, appointments, and pain, and so many things outside of that, it took a lot of discipline to make it seem like I was a functioning human being and go to work every day and put a smile on my face, and just that felt very disciplined, and that wasn't a good. And I think I'm going to remake that video at some point now that I have a lot more. I'm very awkward in that video because it was my first time in years uploading a video and I was still learning so much. So if you're interested more, definitely watch that video. But for me, necessary is definitely a lot more gentleness, and it means showing up with consistency. And consistency doesn't mean putting in the same amount every single day. It means trying every single day, even if it's not a lot. Showing up at 5% is a whole lot better than 0%, because it proves to you that you can show up even when it's hard and you don't want to and you don't feel like it, or when you're busy. Necessary means emotional honesty, and necessary means letting myself feel things without shaming myself for them and how I feel. And necessary is devoting yourself to your goals instead of forcing yourself to achieve them as fast as possible. I've never resonated with rigid discipline because it just makes me feel like I'm being punished, and that's not a feeling that I like. Really, I don't think anyone likes feeling like they're being punished. I think people like feeling like they're human beings and treated with compassion. And that's why I'm not driven by pressure. I'm driven by meaning. And I move forward every day, not because I force myself to move forward every day, but because I care and I want to see how much I can accomplish, even when I'm not accomplishing a lot. And that's my version of doing what's necessary instead of what's necessarily wanted. So definitely, as chaotic as today was, I feel a lot more at ease than I did before, and I think I'm in a much better place than I was in the beginning of the day. You learn a lot every time you stumble because you learn how to get back up. So all the editing issues, all the stress, the anxiety spikes, even all the small wins, they all work together to remind me that growth isn't clean, growth is not linear, it's messy, it's unplanned, it never goes how you think it's gonna go, because if it went how you think it was gonna go, it's not growing. Growth is honesty, not just with other people, but honesty with yourself. And even when other people, and it's about what you do when no one else is looking. So I'm letting go and realizing that I don't need to control the narrative. So realize that you don't have to control the narrative of something for it to be meaningful. Because some of the most important parts of everyone's story is when you let go and when you just flow. So if you're also in a chapter that feels a little messy or chaotic and imperfect, I promise you that this is happening for a reason, and you don't have to be graceful to keep growing. And that's something that the both of us can practice. Tomorrow I have a lot more that's scheduled, so it's gonna be a lot busier in the sense that I'm gonna be on the go for The first half of the day, I'm gonna be volunteering, and then I have appointments that I have to go to. And then in the afternoon, I'll be able to come home and keep working on me and what brings me joy. So my intention for my day ahead is to continue showing up for myself with gentleness and grace and care and compassion. And I'm challenging you to set an intention for yourself too, and so comment it down below to seal it in place. Something soft, something doable, and something that's going to make your life a billion times better. Even though, because it'll make you feel like you're on your own side for once. And the more you prove that to yourself, the easier it is and the more you want to do. You don't have to get everything to keep moving in the right direction all at once. We just have to keep moving there. One little imperfect day at a time. So let's meet back here tomorrow. I am very excited to hear about how all your guys' day went in the comments. Subscribe to be part of this journey and to work on your journey. Start living your best life as I'm starting to live mine.